Hey gang, today we're taking a look at the Sinvertek CKK SHXC. It just rolls off the tongue, right? I don't know if that SHXC is SHXC. It's like Tesla with the spelling out sexy. Maybe it's SHXC. Maybe. I'm going to call it the SHXC. So, what are we looking at here? If you know Sinvertek, what we're looking at is way less knobs and switches than normal. Yes, this is Wu's, that's the Sinvertek designer, the Sinvertek guru there. This is his KLON. Now, it's not a KLON clone by any stretch. It's like inspired by the KLON. Even the buffer has been redesigned to be, in his words, a little less stiff. The mid-range is not as sort of like soft mid-rangey as a KLON. It's more in that Marshall upper bite. And when you go like low on it, it still is that warm, big, round, fat KLON thing. But when you start getting past noon, you'll hear it goes like vintage Marshall sort of like cut to it. So if you ever felt like maybe your KLON just didn't have enough like cut, bite, maybe energy to it, this is worth taking a look. Because also I feel like this has a lot more bottom end energy than the KLONs do. So there's not much more to talk about, you know. It's cool looking, right? It's got 3 knobs and it sounds good. There you go. So let's plug in. I'm also going to do a KLON KTR comparison so you could really hear what the difference is there. And I'm going to use 2 different amps. Let's go. All right, I am plugged into that vintage Fender Bassman. It's on 2, which is loud and big, but not really distorted. I would call that Bassman clean. Let's plug the SHXC in. It's got this setting I really love. Turn the gain all the way off, turn the tone all the way off, and then set the volume to taste. You could crack the level a little bit if you like, but check this out. Gets big. I mean, that's probably a little dark. I feel like it just hugs around the sound really nicely. Big. As you turn the gain up, you'll start to hear the real characteristic of the gain mid-range. It takes the Tele and makes it enormous. Speaking of enormous, let's switch over to LesPaul and the Marshall. All right, now I'm plugged into that super lead, vintage. It already sounds awesome, to be fair. Yeah, sounds great. But let's boost it because that's why we're here, right? Let's get a little gain going. Ah, see, now it warmed up. We're on the left side of that tone note. Let's take the SHXC versus the KLON. I have a KLON KTR. I tried to get a silver or gold, but no one wanted to send me their original $8,000 pedal in the mail to try with this A/B test. So I've got the KLON KTR. It's a KLON, right? So now, again, the SHXC is not trying to be a KLON clone. I'm just going to show you sort of the difference so you could kind of dial in what you're hearing. The KLON sounds great, right? So let's take a listen here. I'm back in the Marshall. I turned it way back so we could really try and hear the character of the pedals. All right, here's the KLON. Right now I don't have any gain. It's just kind of the color of the pedal. So what I hear, which is cool about the KLON, is it doesn't add any bottom. It maybe trims it, and it maybe trims some of the top, and it fills in the mid-range in the KLON frequency. Now the SHXC has a different frequency and a whole different sort of structure and architecture even before you start adding the gain. So back to nothing. So I think there you could kind of hear the KLON is like this, and the Sinvertek is a little more like that, maybe. So let's go into some of the gain. It threw me off because the KLON is super smooth. It changes the character of the amp with its gain. Let's go back to this. Hey, we made it to the end. The Sinvertek CKK SHXC. As always, you'll have to go to the website to get it. Sometimes the website's a little slow. Be patient. If you like the sound of the pedal, it's worth dealing with international websites. I guess it is. Anyway, that's the worst you could say about the pedals, is that the website sometimes is slow. All right. Thank you, gang, for watching. And yeah, all right. See you later.